All right, we're going to talk about some comics and video games, particularly Earthworm Jim, which was just announced not that long ago. They came out and said that the new Earthworm Jim was coming back, the entire original team is coming back, and it's going to be exclusive to the Intellico system that's coming out for some reason. I guess maybe 5 people wanted it. I'm not sure what's going on with that. But nevertheless, a new Earthworm Jim is coming. It's a pretty classic game, was really big on Genesis and Super Nintendo. I had it for the Sega Genesis, like a lot of people did, I think. It was a pretty fun game. A lot of good memories with it. So a lot of people, especially old school gamers, are really excited to see it come back. But if anybody that's been around comics, particularly anything to do with Comicsgate, knows that the creator of Earthworm Jim has been around making comics for a while. He released Bigfoot Bill, the Indiegogo, last year, and the book just got fulfilled about a month ago. I did a review on it on my comic channel, and it was really good. I liked it a lot. Really high quality, hardbound. But anybody that's familiar with Doug knows Doug is very opinionated. He does have his opinions. Many of them are not popular with a lot of people, but that's just who Doug is. That doesn't mean that he's a jerk. He's actually a pretty nice dude. But he does have controversial opinions from time to time. I don't think that that's a reason, though, for anybody to freak out and be mad. There was a day not that long ago, maybe 7 years ago, where you could have a controversial opinion and, things would still be okay. You could literally just still go on with life. You would be okay. But now, thanks to Twitter and other things, when somebody that's attached to some kind of entertainment or politics or something has a different opinion that's, could be a little controversial or whatever, literally people have to run and try to deplatform people. They do this, I think, because they believe that they're doing some kind of moral good. I think it makes people feel good, like they're actually making changes for what they believe is the right side of history and all this stuff. Personally, I think a lot of them are crazy. And I think anybody that's been following a lot of the stuff that I cover over time here would agree with me, particularly when it comes to Vic Mignogna, for example, and one of his biggest haters in the movement, of Kick Vic anyway, Mars Girl, who literally shops photos or something of his mom, tracking TVs that she buys and saying she's rich because she bought a Super Bowl TV. I mean, this is strange behavior. These people that try to deplatform others, they literally become obsessive with it. It's very strange. It's very strange. So this new Earthworm Jim game is coming out, and a lot of people are excited. So journalist, and I like how Bounding into Comics puts quotations next to journalist, because we're going to see why this is questionable. Because they literally say, hey, because Doug TenNapel's working on this game, I don't think that I can give it a good review. It's going to influence the way that I review the game and to make it tricky. So let's go through this history here, and we'll get to what I'm talking about. And why he thinks that working at Polygon is really going to affect the way this game sells. So we got Chris here, who works for Polygon, and he comes in and he says, indicated he didn't want Earthworm Jim creator Doug TenNapel involved in the newly announced game. To the excitement of any fans, the Intellivision Entertainment CEO Tommy Tallarico announced that Earthworm Jim was coming back. In fact, he revealed the original team would be returning. So every member, which I guess was 10 people total, which is crazy if you think about how games are made today with, hundreds of people. They literally made this game with 10 people. It's crazy. All of them are coming back. And they made this announcement right here. And you see Doug did some original artwork. And here it is. He said, here it is, the big news. Over 20 years in the making, Earthworm Jim is back with the entire original team and exclusively on the Intellivision Amico for some reason, which is mind-blowing to me. Live chat with them during our first design meeting this Saturday, press release. And then it's right here. Now, he made this post on Facebook, And here you got Chris come in, who's written for Nintendo Magazine, Vice, Nintendo Life, and Polygon. Now, where are the two red flags there? Anybody that's experienced with knowing garbage outlets know Vice and Polygon are pure dumpster fire trash. Nobody at Vice or Polygon actually plays video games. They just kind of use their roles there to do activism, and you're going to see why in a minute. So he's not happy that Doug's making this game, that he's a part of it. He's pissed, and he comes in and says he'll find it hard to support the game, and it's going to be trickier for him to review if Doug is involved. The game's going to be trickier for him to review because the guy who draws Earthworm Jim, actually created the character as well, is involved with the game. What kind of bias is that? Like, how is that going to make it hard? Like, why can't you just set your differences and opinion aside and review the game? Well, they can't do that, right? Because they don't actually play games, and you're going to see him get cussed out, which is beautiful. So this guy, Keith, comes in and says, amazing. This is the reason I bought the Genesis and the only game I ever owned for it. Also, who doesn't love Doug Tenapel? Sorry. So Chris comes in, quite a few people, to be fair. I'm so excited for this game, but I'm going to struggle to support him personally. So what happens here? He shares this article from Bleeding Cool, which is the garbagest of garbage. Like, if there was a greatest piece of trash in the universe, the number one piece of smoking trash, it would be Bleeding Cool. You literally can't even go to their website without getting malware or like crashing your computer. I have a really nice computer, and my stuff will stall a little bit on there because so many, like, the ads are loading ads when you go on there. It's like there's an ad for the ad and then an ad pop up for when the ad comes up. It's literally a shit show. And the dudes on there, especially that hobgoblin guy, Rich Johnston, that dude is a trash journalist. And he wrote an entire article smearing Doug when Doug got into an argument, or a back and forth anyway, with Kotaku writer Heather Alexandria in 2017. And during that back and forth, he referred to Heather, who is trans, as a good man. So, you know, whether you agree or not with that, I still don't think that means he's a bad dude. Doug has his opinions. I don't think there's anything wrong with the way you view things, as long as you treat a person, you know, decently and respectful. And he's always done that. I've never seen him be rude to anybody that he disagrees with on how they live. And I think that you should be able to have the opinions you want, especially in this country, in the United States of America. You should be able to have your opinion. As long as you're not bothering anybody, making anybody's life complicated, you should be able to believe what you want. I think that that's an important fundamental thing that we should all be allowed. It's what makes the country. It's the first amendment. It's the most important one. But, you know, it is what it is. These people are always going to go nuts over something. So they get in a little argument here. And here's the great thing. The Earthworm Jim people, Tommy Tallarico here, they're not backing down. They're not bending the knee. And let me show you something. All I had to do on Twitter, was search Earthworm Jim. Not even Earthworm Jim, Doug Tenapel. No, just Earthworm Jim. And you'll find stuff like this, where they're talking about how, I just think that there are a lot of incredibly talented, but also kind and thoughtful, non-bigoted people making amazing art out there to support. Why support a creep? Talking about Earthworm Jim. Then you've got Stupid Movie Bob coming in with his opinion. This is a list of controversial gaming opinions. Earthworm Jim, number 13, doesn't hold up, and the culture has paid dearly for letting Tenapel sulk around for decades because of this. You know, here, and here, and here, here, and here. The brigade comes out, strong as ever, because they have nothing else to do but sit around and talk about, people they disagree with and how those people need to have their credit cards and bank accounts shut down and they need to become homeless and pretty much starve and end themselves. Because that's what it comes down to. They want to take away your ability to buy things, save money. They're basically saying outright they want you to be destroyed, have your life end, all that stuff. Because there's literally nothing you can do if you can't work and buy things. But like I said, they are standing up to the brigade because they know one thing, that these people, they don't open their wallets. And there's a threat implied in this long conversation here that they're going to speak with their wallet. Good. Well, you guys never open your wallets up anyway, so it doesn't matter. In fact, there's more money to be made standing up to you clowns than supporting you. So keep crying to the wind. If I was making a product, I would literally try to make the NPC crowd angry and stir up drama with them so that my stuff would sell. It's a proven tactic that works. People don't like NPCs. And when they sit there and run their mouths and people stand up to their crap, there's literally proven sales. So here's what Tommy says. I totally respect everyone's right to decide whatever the heck they want. No worries. The reality is, if we do the game with Doug, some people may get upset. If we do the game without Doug, other people would be upset. So it's a no-win situation no matter what, as it's absolutely impossible in this day and age to please everyone. But it's very important to know that although Doug was the creator of the actual character, it was the entire team of 10 of us who created the experience that everyone knows and loves. A complete team effort with no one having more important opinions or visions over anyone else. Making the game with the original team is the only way to keep it 100% authentic. And the journal comes in and says, I totally respect that, appreciate that, Tommy. As a journalist, I'm 100% keen to cover the Amico in general and review as many of its games as possible. But I hope you appreciate that it may be trickier for me to review this one if Doug is involved. I don't mean any hard feelings, man, and wish you every success with the Amico in general. So, yeah, you heard that right. Because Doug's involved with the artwork, it's going to be tricky to review that game. That's like literally a threat. That's a threat to the Amico. Like these people like, haha, I'll use my powers at Polygon to influence this game. No one gives a damn about Polygon, Chris. Nobody cares. Real gamers don't even read your website. They don't care about Polygon. I don't know how you exist. How do you exist anymore? Like in today's YouTube land, how does Polygon exist? Nobody goes to Polygon. Nobody associates Polygon and gaming. They associate Polygon and trash. So this other Chris guy comes in who's just a fan and was checking out and saw the argument. He comes in and says, you should be able to separate this and just do the review. How are you being biased? I learned that in Journalism 101. And he linked a website there. And he's like, how dare you tell me how to do my job, sir? I'm a journalist. These people think so highly of themselves. And everybody thinks there's a joke. There was a Appreciate a Journalist Day on Twitter, and everybody in the comments was just trashing modern journalists for these mainstream sites and making fun of them. I thought it was so great. So basically, this guy tells him off, and he blocks him. The journalist blocks him. And then that pretty much ends it. The journalist says, can we take this to email to Tommy Tellerico? And that's pretty much the end of that. Doug finds out and says the simple fact that's true, that this guy never contacted him for any fact-checking on anything that happened, on any kind of disagreement with Heather or anything. He's just like, I've never heard from the guy. And because they never reach out for fact checks. They don't care. They just literally want to put their narrative out there and call it a day. But there's a couple of things to take from this. One, Polygon is still garbage. They literally admit that they will weaponize their reviews and that the Intellivision Amico isn't going to bend the knee. The Earthworm Jim team is not going to bend the knee. They're standing up against this garbage. So I think that's to be commended. Also, I'm glad to see Doug was brought on to the team, that these people don't care. I'm glad to see that, that they stand up to the brigade. Doug also announced that he's doing an Earthworm Jim Indiegogo. I don't know when he's going to launch it. I haven't talked to him in a little bit. It's been like a week or two, but I'm glad he finally announced that. I've been excited for it. It should be really good. So we'll see what happens. Anyway, let me know in the comments what you think about all this. Like, subscribe, check out the links in the description. Make sure you're still subscribed, and I'll see you guys on the next one.